Welcome to the Athletes in Motion podcast, from race to recovery, with your hosts, Tom Riegel and Kenny Bailey.
Hey, Kenny, how you doing?
I am fantastic, Tom. How are you?
I'm fantastic as well. We're back here. Can you believe it's the end of 2025 already? I mean, this has
Crazy,
been an
isn't it?
incredible, crazy year. Haven't got out quite the content that I really was hoping that we would do, but that's just life in general. So thanks everybody for sticking around and listening. We'll probably get one more wrap up for the year show in. And then we've got some cool stuff set up, getting scheduled people. Scheduling people? Yeah, I'm herding cats trying to get schedules set up for the new year.
There's a people in your schedule involved. We'll try to get those together.
It's doing this.
Let's connect those two.
So it's all good. So everybody, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so that when the new stuff shows up, it'll pop up and let you know. And then give us some feedback. Keep the feedback coming. 5 stars, thumbs up, all that stuff. That algorithm is crazy, and the more little like thumbs that we get and positive reviews or any reviews, pretty much at that point will boost us in the algorithm and we'll get out a little bit further. So we appreciate all the love and support. Thank you so much. This is our fifth.
If you want more guests on for content, fifth year, no kidding. We were just young then, weren't we? We were puppies.
I know.
So
much has happened from the first show to the last show.
Old salty dogs now.
Yeah. So this one, we're going to talk a little bit about some off-season training tips because the weather has changed. It's getting cold. Yeah. It's getting crazy. So we're going to touch a little bit on that. I also want to go over the best way to set up your bike on an indoor trainer, because there's a couple things that people miss completely. So we'll go over some of that. But first, we got to catch up. Last time we chatted, you were getting ready to do HYROX with your wife, and like, how did it go? Let's hear.
Well,
you're still alive.
It was So the crazy thing is, the way HYROX works is they don't tell you up until 3 days before the event when your time's going to start.
Awesome.
We knew it was going to be Saturday based off we were a mixed couple, but we didn't know what time Saturday. When we got the email, it said you're going at 8:20 p.m. And I'm like, wait, what? Wait, what? 8:20 p.m. Like, do you know how old we are? We're in the 50 category. I'm brushing my teeth at 8:20. And we're in Chicago, which means we flew in Friday, got there Friday night. Saturday, you don't get to do anything. Like, you don't want to walk. It's like when getting ready for we did a Disneyland, half marathon, and you can't do anything. Like, you don't go to Disneyland the day before your half marathon because people walk 6 miles and you screw up. So we sat in the hotel in Chicago. I couldn't eat a Chicago dog. Our flight was Sunday morning. So basically it was all HYROX. That was it.
Oh my God.
And we went to the venue early. So it's a little less than, it was like 0.8 miles from our hotel. And so we thought we'd walk there. That's our only walking we did. Check the venue out and just kind of see what's going on, which is good because that gave us a chance to be more confident when we got in, so we weren't like looking all over the place. The event was fun. The good news is our trainers set us up for success. There was no surprises. Nice. For people to remind people about HYROX, it's you run a kilometer and then you do some sort of hit thing like a sled push or a sled pull, or carry a 40-pound rucksack on, a sandbag while you're doing walking lunges, all that sort of stuff. And it's the first time my wife and I ever did anything together as a team. We would run. We both did the California National Marathon, but we took off at roughly the same time. And then I waved at her, and then I took off, and she came. And so we've never really had to rely on each other. And it was a fun event. She's been doing a lot of training, getting really beefy, getting a lot of strength training. The funny part about it is the biggest lesson we learned is everyone told us when we first started, just run, go run. It's 8 kilometers. That'll decide it. Just run. I'm like, cool. Forgot that the whole training time, right? We were so worried about the sled. It's 335 pounds. We're so worried about, walking lunges with a 40-pound bag. It's a 35 kilogram, kettlebell, which is 52 pounds. So it's 104 pounds you're having to walk for 60 meters. So we were just all worried about the strength effort. And I look at my wife And I'm like, hey, I get, we never ran together the whole time. We trained a couple of times together, for Hannah, but we never ran together. So what's your pace? She was like, I don't know. I haven't run since September. I'm like, wait, what? And so it was like September. Like, yeah, I haven't run since September. I was all worried about that. So we were like, okay, I guess, but we're a couple long distance runners. So we got started and we just did our pace, what we wanted to. It was a nice, healthy pace, kept the heart rate down. Everything was predictable. My biggest concern was the sled push, and I absolutely killed it. It was like we did the practice beforehand to make sure that I understand that, how to push it without kind of getting it, lifting it up to drag it into the thing. And I'm all ready to go. And I'm like, surely that the practice one isn't the same as the real one. It's got to be heavier. And I guess I was so freaking paranoid about this that I just grabbed the thing. I just pushed it as hard as I could. I ended up like running with the thing. So that was a great surprise. All the other stuff I knew was going to be hard. If you ever tried to do broad jump burpees, I mean, I don't like burpees to begin with. It's a lot of weight coming down to the floor, coming back up. So broad jump burpees, and then you have to do a broad jump. So you do that for 40 meters, and it was not fun.
Oh my God.
And then my hamstring was trying to tweak on me. So Lori did the walking lunges, majority of it. I did a majority of the heavy stuff. She did the majority of the stuff, and then we did it equally. It was a lot of fun. So unfortunately, she tweaked her back on the last part. So we had to walk the last 2 or 3 kilometers, which wasn't fun, but we had no time set. This is the first time where, when you do an Ironman, you're like, I just, whatever time it is, as long as it's 12 hours, right? You just, I just want to finish as long as it's 12 hours, right? And so 90 minutes for HYROX is sort of the 12-hour mark for Ironman. It's sort of like, if you get under 12, it's fantastic. You get under 90, great. You get over 90, it's whatever. We ended up getting an hour and 49 minutes. We were on pace to do like an hour and 30, about 95 minutes. But when she tweaked her back, I'm like, look, we're here for fun. No sponsors are going to be, removed.
Yeah.
We didn't, we weren't there. We had some people from some colleagues of ours that were racing, but they're, 30 years younger than me. I'm not going to keep up with those guys. Nor did I want to. And it was just a fun time. I mean, we left and, we thought of the 14 things we could have done better, like run, for example.
That's the first thing that happens. You finish the race and you just go like, okay, I could have done this. I could have done that. Once you learn, it's better.
And so we get back to the hotel at 11. She pops 3 Advil, lays on the ground because she tweaked her back. And we sat there and we're like, well, there's nothing to eat. And it's after 11. We both stink and we're not going to go, there's an Irish pub, but I'm not going to be, so we ended up getting up like bright and early and ordered room service and ate like 17 eggs and pancakes and everything. But overall, I think if you're a triathlete that's looking to do something, if you're trying to do some weight on, if you're lifting, and you want to challenge yourself on that part, you're absolutely, as a triathlete, your advantage is a run, which I should have done a better job on. The lifting isn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. Anybody can really do these weights. It's just, do you do it in 4 minutes or you do it in 4.5 minutes? And I think the part that we focused on is because of the unknown, you gain more time if you just run a little bit faster than you do. I could push that sled for 3 months and make up maybe 25 seconds. But if I just run more efficiently and, I can make up 3 minutes.
Yeah, make up.
So it was just because we were so afraid of the weight part. I don't know why. But our trainer set it up. There was no surprises. We knew exactly what the events were going to be. We knew exactly how we were going to do. It was just a matter of, and it was fun because we got to trade off. So if my heart rate spiked, she stepped in, did her thing. She was doing horrible on the wall balls.
So the goal is to keep the heart rate at a certain
just
level,
like everything
right?
else.
Yeah. So I'm thinking of this as a because in the off-season training, this is the best time to do some heavy lifting and some weights and some stuff. But I think a lot of athletes have an issue with they're not training for anything. And it's hard to stay focused, and they don't like lifting weights. So maybe, would you recommend this as hey, do one of the HYROX things as your, I'd say off season, but kind of as a strength training kind of thing? That's your motivation to pin something on a calendar to do one of the HYROX events?
Yeah, I think the challenge with that is the next one's the end of January in Phoenix. And then they're global. So if you want to go to Spain, you want to go to Portugal, you want to go to China,
springtime in Spain.
Springtime in Spain. Yeah, so I think for me, it was, I needed something. Yeah, I like right now I don't have a goal, and it's bugging me. Right, it's that off season. I have nothing to train for.
It's hard to stay focused on it. Why are you training if you don't have a goal? Some people really need the goal to get them kind of going.
And I'm one of those people. So I think November for me, having a HYROX in November kept me honest, kept me showing up. I ran, so I was doing 1K intervals between my training sessions, and then so it was fun. But yeah, it's just like any other. It's like an Ironman. You just break it down, right? You don't think of the whole thing. You think of, okay, I've got 1,000-meter ski erg I got to do in front of me. I'm going to do 250. I'm going to switch it off. We keep that heart rate steady. Same thing on anything. You'd want to keep it in zone 2, zone 3. It's a 90-minute effort, so think of it as an Olympic distance probably. So whatever you kind of, what level of zone you want to do for an Olympic distance triathlon, it would be the same thing for here. But it's short burst effort for 4 minutes. You're panting like a dog, but you just start running and your heart rate goes down. And then, if you do a slower run on the way out, you kind of get that heart rate back in check, and then you start up again.
You manage it.
It's like a brick. So if you ever done brick training where you run and then get on a bike and run to get on a bike, that's basically what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's just imagine your bike being a 10% grade every time you get up. And
every time you get
what's going on.
One of my favorite brick workouts to throw at people is to do that, where you're biking and then running and then biking and then running and then biking. You just keep
that's
going
all
back and
HYROX
forth
is.
And killing yourself. Yeah.
So I think, I have some triathletes that I know that are kind of looking for something different. They've been doing some lifting and they want to give it a try. I think there's no time limit. So it's not as if you don't get it under a certain time, they pack up and go. I saw, what's fun is, the guy in our heat was, the dude that looks like he's, froning. He has a, ripped up abs. He's shirtless. He's got his, he's him and his wife are, are like, cool, man, go for it. Right. We're just kind of chill. And then you see people that are on a weight loss journey, and they're not small people, and they're
That's
walking
awesome.
And that's okay. Yeah. But they're trying just as hard as this guy. It's just their time's going to be different, and hooray for both of them. Right. I'm really glad. So you can do this and not be, you don't have to be that, that poster. You can do it just like you can in any other triathlon. Right.
Yeah.
It's not,
well, that's what we like about the sport.
Yeah. It's a combination of ability and will.
Yeah.
So you just keep chugging. Forward is a pace.
I might be a good cross-training type of thing to mix it up a little bit. If you take a little break from some of the triathlon stuff to throw some more strength in there, and then, kind of aim towards a HYROX event, and then kind of bounce back to whatever. I mean, that's the beauty of it. I think that's
and the funniest part is we were running, I think we're on the fourth kilometer. And my wife is just cussing up Blue Streak about the whole thing. I don't like running. This is so... And I started laughing. She goes, why are you laughing? I said, because you're complaining. That means you're not out of breath. It means you're not gassed. The fact that you complain is a good thing. I'm actually glad you're complaining, because it takes breath to complain. So she starts laughing, and we're just like, whatever. We just keep plodding along, and we'll get done when we get done. And, we high-fived. And the pictures look great and all that good stuff. But
nice.
I didn't have nearly as much fun as you did, though. You were in Portugal just living a life of dreams, were you not?
Well, the question is, would you do the HYROX again? Would she do it again with you?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah, I think we're going to, we were half a step away from getting the HYROX in Arizona, because we were just mad because she had to walk. It's just grinding her no end. And, but it's a 5-hour flight, and I don't want to go 5 hours one way and then race 90 minutes and go 5 hours back.
Wait till midnight to
exactly.
do your event type of thing. Yeah.
So I think there's one in mid-year. I think it's around May. It's going to be in DC, and there's also one in Miami. We love going to DC. It's a fun town. We did a 10K run there,
and
so
May
for us
it'd be
And so I think you'll miss the cherry blossoms, but I'll definitely do it again. It was just, I think with anything, you do one, and then you figure out the 15 reasons, things you did wrong, and you want to go fix that. And but we're not like, I'm not now buying like a ton of HYROX gear and
HYROX branded. We're seeing
HYROX branded.
And,
exactly. We're not there yet, but bless people that do it. I mean, they found something they love, and they found something that keeps them motivated. But I think we both were like, this is kind of fun to do, and we both agreed to be no pressure. I mean, I'm too old for pressure these days. So anyway,
yeah,
so
right. Yeah, so
Portugal,
while you were doing that, I was gallivanting in Portugal with
drinking wine, eating the cheese.
Yeah, Carell Laurent, who's been on the show a couple of times now. We're going to have her on again in January as our sports nutritionist. Is so her and a friend of hers, Fiona, and I'm blanking on Fiona's last name. Apologies, Fiona. She's fantastic. She runs Paradise Cycling Tours that she lives in Portugal, in the Algarve region in southern Portugal, and she puts on amazing bike tours all around Portugal, self-guided.
Sounds beautiful.
And then they do a bunch of group rides and things. So we show up, make our way to Portugal, and show up for a week of riding. We got 4 solid days of riding in Portugal. It was just amazing. And we stayed at this, we stay in this little hotel. It's a very small hotel that's on I think it's like a 2,000 acre farm. And most of the food that we're eating is coming from the farm, right? It's a working farm. And there's fresh pomegranates falling off the trees while we're there, and it's that season, and the oranges are falling off the trees while we're there, and and it's just, so the food was amazing. Carell worked with the hotel to, put a nice healthy spin on everything, and we ate really well. So all the meals are included, and we go off and ride, and you have choices. You could ride the longer, harder rides. You can do the moderate rides. You can do the easy rides, depending on it. And I think there was 14 of us. It was one of their larger groups.
Nice.
It was about, what do they have? 12 crazy Brits and 2 crazy Americans. So
we are all crazy.
We had a really great time. There was a lot of laughter. There was a lot of stress relief, and we went out and rode every single day. And then this big storm rolled in. Helene, I think it was actually a named storm. I think it was like a hurricane that rolled in on the last day, which was fine because we got an extra massage in and some more yoga and still ate really well. And Carell did a couple of nutrition talks, which was fantastic. And so yeah, there was yoga in the evenings on a couple of nights and massages, and it was fantastic. We did some great riding. It's just beautiful, beautiful country out there. We'd ride for 15K and then stop for coffee and a cake, and then we'd ride another 15, 20K and then stop for lunch.
That is
and then
awesome.
We'd, ride another whatever back to the hotel, and then have some free time, and then so it was good. I highly recommend.
Sounds beautiful.
If you're thinking of doing a trip where you want to go and be taken care of, well taken care of, Carell and Fiona put on an amazing cycling focused wellness retreat. So it's definitely a cycling focus. You can rent bikes. Everybody rented bikes. We rented an e-bike for Wendy, and I say half of the group was on e-bikes and half of the group was not. And everybody got out, and we just had a great time. It was fantastic. Everybody was nice. They took care of us. The weather was great right up to the end. And then we spent an extra couple of days with Carell and her husband David and her son Jules at their place, which was great. Got down to the beach, was hoping to get a swim in with the local tri club down there, but if you saw my Instagram feed, the ocean was extremely angry. There was no way. There was red flag warnings. It had just kind of passed, and we got down to the beach to walk through there, and you could see the waves. You could see where the storm was. It was like a day and a half that thing took to get through there, and it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. People were amazing. Everyone we ran into was super sweet and nice and great. Occasional, so.
Well, what I love about what you described too is if you want a light day, go do a light day. If you want to go a longer ride, go a longer ride. If you don't want to do a ride, don't do a ride.
Yeah. You could totally choose, and the groups were there. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a different course each day.
Yeah. And then you go back to a farm at a boutique hotel that's absolutely picturesque and gorgeous. So even if you just don't, I don't feel like doing it today, or just something's going wrong, you're still in an incredible location. You're in Portugal, for God's sake. So that sounds heavenly. That sounds so much fun.
what is it, the cork trees. They were seeing all the cork trees. There was carob trees, which they had just done all of the harvesting of that, and massive amounts of olive trees, and they were all trying to get the olives harvested before the storm came in. And if you've ever seen anybody harvesting, olives, it's by hand.
Wow.
Literally, they're pulling them off onto big tarps and then taking the tarps and dumping them into stuff. But you have to go, like, there's no, like, it's not like the almond trees where they got the machine that goes up there and just shakes the hell out of it and they all drop off. I was like, no, they cut some of the taller branches because they're trimming it anyway. But they pull them all off by hand, and they're all just kind of scraping and pulling them off. And you can see them working out there. The families were just out, and we're just like, oh my God. Like, they're trying to get it in before the storm, and it was.
Yeah, we just need to make sure to provide a link. Yeah, provide a link for folks if they want to explore that.
We'll definitely put in the show links to go check out Corral's page and the cycling tours. And then if you can't make the ones that they do, 2 in the spring and 1 in November, if you can't make those, Fiona has tours throughout the year. I mean, she's busy all through the year, so her Paradise Cycling Tours, you can go anytime and set something up with her. And
very cool.
I'm going to look and see if I can get some training camps set up over there so we can go ride for 2 weeks at a time and do some base training in Portugal, maybe in the springtime or something. So I don't know if we'll
like
get
the
that
pros do. Like
in 26, why not? Right?
Why not? Base training.
We're going to go. We'll
That's
go there
awesome.
and
I love the idea
and do some solid riding because it's not flat. I mean, it is not flat. There's nothing flat. Even by the ocean, it's not really flat. So awesome. There's some good climbing. I think we did one big climb that's actually on the pro tour that comes through Portugal, the week-long Volta de Algarve. And I can't remember the name of the climb, but it averaged at, I think it averaged at 9.9% grade for 2.5 kilometers, which is about,
so
a mile and a half or something. So we worked to
feel it
to get up that. Yeah, there was, and then we came down the backside. Yeah, the e-bikes went up first. Well, two of the e-bikes went up first. Of course, our Fiona and Tomasz was our other ride leader for that day, and the 2 of them, of course, jetted on up. I came traipsing after them, and a few other folks came after that, so we kind of worked our way up. But at the top, of course, there was this really pretty Buddhist temple, memorial temple up at the top. It was super windy because the storm was coming in. It was our next to last day, and of course a little cafe. So we had coffee, and if I pronounce it right, pastiche donata is their little cream pastries that they have.
Nice.
So the jerseys that Corral had made up has we ride for pastiche donata because nice. They're amazing, and they come in all different sizes. So you go up and you get a coffee and you get a pastiche donata, and you sit and just.
Well, if you told me the top of the climb, I'd get a coffee and a pastry.
Totally.
Turn myself inside out on that climb.
Exactly. So, and I did almost that to get up there.
That's funny.
A little bit of a tailwind on one section, which was kind of cool. That was handy.
That's fun.
And then we came down the other side, which was even longer and windier and windier. And it was we just kept riding and had such a great day.
Good.
So I highly recommend that. So
it.
big shout out to Corral and Fiona for doing an amazing job on that. So that gets us into our off season.
I was going to say,
we're into off season.
How do we get prepared for those things?
I've got a couple different things. Let's do. Well, one of the big off season things is usually taking our bikes and putting them on a trainer and sticking them in the house. So let's go over there's a couple of notes on that I see when I talk to athletes all the time. When you're setting your tri bike up on your turbo trainer, your indoor trainer, 2 things come up. Sometimes people put a secondary bike that's not their favorite bike or whatever. It's their winter bike or whatever you want to call it. It's a cheap bike that they stick on the trainer and they don't worry about it. They get fitted on their tri bike or their good road bike, and they don't do anything with the bike that they're going to be locked in on their trainer. And if you're looking for an overuse injury, that's one way to get it.
It's the fastest path. That's funny.
I highly recommend making sure that your fit is correct when you're putting your bike on your trainer. That's really good. If you're thinking, well, I'll get a bike fit in the spring when I'm, fresh and feeling good and doing whatever, but I'll just ride on it now. This is the time where you're going to be locked in. You're not going to be, kind of coasting or moving around on the bike very much. You're going to be locked in a position. So it's going to actually have the potential to do more damage to you, which will slow
Really
your
good
training
point.
down. So that's kind of critical. I hear that a lot. I know there's athletes that I've worked with where they said, I didn't realize they had a second bike on the trainer, and we fitted them on their race bike, and then they didn't ride that bike for their training. So it's like, okay, this is something to take a look at it. You don't necessarily need to go get a full bike fit on it. But if you come see me for a bike fit, then get your bike fit, bring your other bike, and we'll make sure that that's set up. And I include that and take care of you on that to make sure that's good. A couple of the other things is stay in good posture and form. So when you're riding on that, don't sit up or don't sit a way that you normally wouldn't while you're pushing the miles and cranking out the watts. You want to be in your proper position. This is what's getting your body, your brain wired to those muscle groups to be in either its aero position or on your road bike in a good solid position where you've got proper form. You'll generate more watts. You'll ride much faster. You'll be much happier with the progress that you're making. And then when you do get off onto the road in the springtime, you'll actually be riding better, and you won't be all of a sudden uncomfortable again because all of a sudden you're in a different position. So keep that in mind as you're doing it. So when you set your bike up on there, one of the key things is to make sure that it's level. You want front wheel, back wheel to be level. You don't want them tipped too far down. You want them tipped too far up. So one of the things to look at is the air pressure in your front tire. Your air pressure in your front tire after a month has gone down a little bit because that's what it does. It kind of leaks out a little bit. Even on the tubeless ones, it will go down a little bit more. So that will cause you to tip a little bit more forward. So make sure there's proper pressure in the front tire. I'm assuming that's if you have a smart trainer and you don't have the rear wheel on. If you have the rear wheel on, yes, make sure that has enough pressure in it as well. But since it's being held at the back end of the bike, not the actual tire is not keeping it up, it's not as important, but it will be against the roller at that point. So you want to make sure.
Yeah, I think with the roller ones, you're up anyway, so you need a kind of a block
Yes.
to keep that level anyway. Where the ones
Yeah.
that take the wheel off, they tend to be a little bit more flat.
A little more flat. So
I'm guilty of that every time. The front tire is just flat as a band. Well, I should probably do something about that. Okay.
Yeah, you'll find it going down and down. You'll find yourself pitching forward, especially if you've got a tri-bike set up there. You're like, why am I my pressure on my elbows and my arms? And so the other thing is, if you're putting it on a carpet, it's going to sink into the carpet. So I would suggest getting a piece of wood. You can get it cut at Lowe's, Home Depot, wherever the home places are, that's wide enough for the trainer to sit on. And then get another block the same thickness, whatever, for the front wheel. So you set the two nice and level, and then make any adjustments you need to with the wheel. There's wheel chocks that you can put that will raise the wheel up to level it off. We used to use phone books in the old days when they actually had phone books. You can do that with a book. You can find something that's under there. Measure the, at the points, where the wheels are, like right in the centers there, just measure and make sure that they're about the same. They want them to be as close as possible so that you're nice and level.
Yeah, and I think
those are the big things.
I stole Lori's like old yoga mats, so I put that underneath so it can catch sweat and stuff like that to kind of
you want to cover the ground, put whatever they make. You can pay and get branded vinyl mats and things that you put on there, or you can just buy some stuff from Home Depot or wherever. And make sure you put lots of towels and wipe the bike off because it rusts pretty quickly with the sweat. It really will. All the bolts that are underneath your armrests and stuff will start to rust out. They're going to surface rust on them, making them almost impossible to move. So keep an eye on some of that. Just wipe the bike and dry it down, which comes to another point is fans. You need one big one, or you need several. The more fans you have, the better. One of the challenges we have riding the indoor trainers is that you don't feel like you're as strong as you were outside, mainly because you're a lot warmer. You don't have the air cooling your skin off. So get a couple of fans. Get more than one. I think they're pretty cheap right now. You can find some really good turbo vortex fans, whatever, and set them up on things so they're aiming at your face and your body and your legs, and that's going to help cool your body down and make it feel like you're riding. It'll be probably loud as heck, but you'll put your earbuds in and you won't mind. You'll be watching your TV show at the same time.
Yeah, and you think you don't need it at the beginning because it's like, well, this is kind of weird. I'm already cool, but like 5 minutes into it, because there's just no airflow, right? You're not getting wind,
There's
right?
nothing,
and
you just
core
heat
body
up.
temperature just start. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm up here in my bonus room, and I have my trainer set up, and I'll get up in the morning. It's like, oh, it's chilly up here. I'll turn the heat on. I'll go on, get on the bike, and I'll start doing a workout. And then I'm like, why did I turn the heat on? Like, I'm blowing a fan while I'm pumping the heat, and I'm like, get off the bike, turn the heat off, put the second fan on. Just try to get as much airflow on you as possible, because it'll, once again, you'll have a better workout. Like, your numbers will be better. You'll be happier.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny is there's a lot of schmancy, like, desks and stuff you can get. And what I ended up getting was a music stand.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
And I just do it flat. And it costs very little, because I use an iPad because I can't figure out how to get it to my TV. So I have an iPad that has that. So I have like those virtual rides where, I can go to France or go to Portugal and ride Portugal. And I just put that iPad in front of me, put it on the music stand, and that, I have my bottle there. I have, like you said, put the headphones on and listen to angry music and watch myself, ride virtually in Portugal. And, hope. I was like, maybe just put like maybe an espresso in one of those pastries, like on the stand.
Oh, there you go. Put
so you're forever chasing that
on it. Yeah, you're just in front of you.
Just in front of you. Just can't reach it. But
just a little bit past you, and that's your reward, right?
But in all seriousness, I think you bring up a really, really good point, which is if you're acting lazy on your bike, your injury can be higher, and you're also not training those muscles that need to be trained. I mean, proper form still counts. The problem is because you're not having to hold yourself up, so you're not using those little stabilizer muscles, but you still need to have good form, good, make sure that you should be feeling the same sensation you would on a road with that turnover, right? Knee can't be out here like this, or you can't be squatted too low or whatever.
Splay out or do. Yeah. I mean, if you have a tri bike and you've got it on the trainer and you can't stay in the aero position for the duration of your workout, my guess is that your fit's not right. You should, on a tri bike, you should only want to be in that position. And if you're up on the bullhorns, holding yourself up, the only thing you should be thinking about should be like, I just want to get back down here again. So like get a fit. Like get it fit right. And if you think like, I really want to be aero and I want to stay super, super low, but if your body can't handle it right now, then you add more stack height until you can. And then training yourself in that position on the turbo over the winter will get you into that position. It's the best way to get you comfortable with that. So it's that poor
find
posture.
A good movie. I mean,
will get you.
That's the thing. It could be boring as heck. So find a good movie. Find that one.
There's so many options these days. Yeah. You got Zwift, you got Ruby, you've got Velocity, you've got all sorts of stuff. Yeah, you just
put on Star Wars and just watch Star Wars, and if you need to.
The Velocity workouts I do, you can put it into a transparent mode, and you can watch the football game behind it, and it has all the meters and stuff up. You see the steps, you see all your data. Like you would if you're a trainer road geek.
That's
and
really
you
cool.
really want your data, and it's there, and then you can watch the game at the same time.
That's awesome.
And then it's not like you're looking away. The game's not up here and the screen is over here. And that's the other thing. If you set it up off on the right and you're riding and you're constantly turned over to look at that, it's going to tweak your neck. That's bad posture. Try to set it in a position that's in front of you. Stack books up, bring tables in, go to Goodwill and buy a cheap table or something that you can find there and just set it on there. It doesn't have to be pretty.
So I have a crazy question for you.
Yeah.
I have a buddy of mine who usually has issues with his helmet in that position. So he'll ride with his helmet on in the winter to help get used to that weight, that extra weight on a...
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Part of the tri-bike fits that I do is if you have an aero helmet, I like to put you with your helmet on so we can see where it sits on your shoulders because it has to slot in a certain way. If he has a longer tail versus a shorter tail, if you have just a regular standard road helmet, it's not as critical. But yeah, it helps him if that helps him hold the position for sure. I think that's great. I don't know if I'd do it every single time, but certainly put it on there and make sure that you can do the sustained longer workouts.
Yeah, and just I mean. It's that strength too on your neck. Like sometimes it's just you're riding without a helmet, riding without a helmet. You put a helmet on, like wow, okay,
totally, yeah.
Why does this feel like it does? So
it does
I thought it
weird
was
things
interesting.
if they cover your ears. They, your vision. I had to change helmets because I would have like my sunglasses on, but then I couldn't see over the top.
Yeah.
So when I was in position, I was looking up. I was looking right at the top of the glasses, and I was really annoyed with that. But I couldn't ride without them, so I ended up getting a helmet that has a clear visor across it, and now I don't have to wear my sunglasses. And then when I look up at the top of my eyes to look down the road a little bit, I'm like, I can see without an issue. These are things that you figure out on the trainer.
Yeah, because I figured that out as I was in the ambulance going code 3 with a concussion when I hit a bus, because the last thing I said before I woke up was I can't see. And then the next thing I know, I'm like, what's that noise? Those are sirens.
Yeah, hey
take
kids,
it from me.
Learn from Kenny.
Yeah. Make sure you have good visibility because it kind of matters.
And that's a legit thing. Like when I have people in for bike fit and their head's straight down, and I'm like, okay, I want you to look down the road for me. And they look up and then they look back down again. I was like, okay, you're too low because you can't. If you have to do like crazy stuff to get your head up,
that's
just to look
exactly
down the road.
what happened. It was exactly what happened. I was racing TT, and it was like, we're going to slam that front end because we want to give you aero. And I'm like, the last thing I thought of is, I'm down here and I look up and I'm like, I can't really see that much. I went back down and then I woke up in an ambulance. Yeah. So it matters. So take it from Uncle Kenny. Visibility counts. So
visibility counts.
That's why I started laughing. You're just like, when you can't see, I'm like, I found out the hard way. So
that's it. There's like, we want to be aero. We want to look like the pros. We want to do that. And we can get there, but maybe safety not first. Right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Safety
I think
first.
it's a great idea. It's a great, that's a great off season thing to do, right? Get in a more comfortable position and just start, take, as you get more comfortable, see, where you get in a position where you want to, because, you don't have to be slammed down. Like, again, we're not, time trial tour, whatever's really comfortable, whatever you're comfortable with, you can grab a bottle, you're comfortable on your bike where you feel like you're down, you feel good about it. Where you feel like you've got combination of good speed and good power, without being good, fatigued. That's a great thing to practice, right?
And the key word here is comfort. And I think we use the word too loosely. I think people are relating it to, especially new cyclists, new triathletes come in, and we talk about getting comfortable on the bike, being comfortable in a position and all that stuff. And it's really not comfortable. It's sustainable. Yeah. You're sitting on a post, for crying out loud. It's never going to be that comfortable. We get you set up in a right position so that your sit bones, like all the pressure is on your sit bones, is on two very sharp points. They feel very sharp, especially in the beginning, and your body gets a little used to it. You get some conditioning and then you get in the right spot. If you're in the wrong spot, it's pressure in all sorts of areas that make things go numb, and that's bad. So it's about conditioning yourself a little bit. But if you want to go super, super aero and you want to be slammed all the way down and you go, great, okay, like how long is your race? Are you doing an Ironman and you're going to be on the bike for 6 hours? Is that sustainable for 6 hours? If you're doing a sprint try and you're like, that's sustainable for 40 minutes or an hour? That's where you can kind of play with that setup a bit and just go like, and the other thing is to look at the amount of watts that you're pushing. If you can't push that many watts because you're super aero, then you're not going to be going any faster. You're not gaining anything. So we throw that comfort word around quite a bit, and I want to make sure that it's sustainable more than it is comfort.
Yeah, and if you just look at the pros in Ironman, I mean, they've got comfortable positions. If you notice, like some of them are in the lotus position where everything's really relaxed up front, right? And they keep in that relaxed mode. So they are sustainable, right? I mean, they're pros. I mean,
some of those guys are a little bit going crazy. Sam Laidlaw did a super, super stretched out type of thing, which did great for the bike.
Yeah.
he blew up on the run. So
Yeah, exactly.
that'll just tell you.
It's a
But if
three-sport
you look
thing.
at
Yeah.
the women's this year had more of an arch to their back, which Matt Steinmetz, who's a great bike fitter that's out in Boulder, was questioning and saying, are they giving up and leaving a little bit of aerodynamics, that they could be getting a little bit more aero by flattening themselves a little bit, stretching out just a little bit more. But when you look at all of them, they put out amazing power. They did great. I'm thinking that they went for stuff that was more sustainable. So there was
Well,
at
and hip
least a
flexors,
dozen
right?
that
So
they
if you're
looked at.
slammed down like this and then you come up like
Yeah.
that, I mean, I'd rather be in a little bit more
They want to set up for the
comfortable
run.
position.
You've got all of these little things that we it's very, I don't want to say it's not complicated, but it is complex in the sense that if you adjust one thing, it affects a bunch of other stuff. So you want to make sure it's not just, we just slam you and stick you down. Well, then there's consequences to that.
Yeah. I mean, the whole point is to set you up for a successful run, right?
Yes. It's all about the run. It's all about the run.
Even in
that's your
HYROX.
indoor training. That's our theme
today. Even in
it's
HYROX,
all about the
it's
run.
about the run. Yeah. So
it's all about the run. So
if you guys hate running, sorry.
Yeah. So
stick to
other
kayaking.
Other off-season kind of training stuff. What do you think? I'm big on strength training this time of year, on all of the small stuff, doing the little banded work, doing everything to build the stabilizer muscles, and going through that would be my off-season. Like, get into the gym, it mixes up a little bit, changes some stuff. What else? What else? Do you think,
actually.
Kenny?
So Lori and I just got done. We had that typical, when you get done with any sort of race, like you have a date, you have the kind of the blues afterwards. Like, well, what now? What?
Yeah.
And we made a decision. At least we know we have holiday. Like we have to go to a work event. We have a thing we got to do on Saturday. I mean, we've got holiday parties and people to see and all that sort of stuff. So we decided that between now and the end of the year, we're going to just do fun workouts. So it's not going to be, because mentally you kind of need to take a break too. So if you're just focus, that's great. And maybe people do that. I know you need a goal, but we decided like, hey, I'm just going to, whatever my body tells me, like when I go in, like, hey, I haven't done this set for a while. I think I'm going to go do that. And to your point, try to keep, slow it down a tick, do more band work, more kind of stretching, kind of, I'm not, and I don't have to get a certain number of reps in or certain thing because I'm not have to do, I have to do a row and a 1K, and I got to carry a kettlebell and I got to get this is my training block, because if I don't do that training block, I'm not going to be ready. It's sort of like, hey, I think I'm just going to do a push exercise today because I just haven't done that in a while, but I want to make sure I get some good band work and some good ab work and pay attention to recovery and just have fun with it and not have that for me. I mean, this is me personally. I think Lori's doing the same thing. It's just, we needed to turn our brain off and just let our body do some fun stuff and just not feel an expectation of like, well, darn it, I missed this. And, try to be consistent still, but try to be, and by the way, walking the dog is consistent. Going to a park is consistent.
Totally.
Doing movement is consistent. It doesn't have to be, and if swimming, if you're going to go do a swim, maybe do a happy swim. Where, I'm just going to get, if I get 1,000 in, or if I get 1,500, or if I want to do 100 drills, or if I just want to do playtime, or if I, whatever, just as long as that winter's, really easy to, with the weather and everything else, especially me, to just do that. But
God, yeah.
So just movement is great. So we just decided to make it, that's it. We're just going to have happy fun. And then January we'll go, okay.
Yeah.
Now we'll start paying attention.
Unless you have a race in the springtime or something that you're getting up, then this is not off season for you. But for the rest of North America or the Northern Hemisphere, basically unstructured workouts. Walking is probably one of the best things you can do, is get out and walk for 30 minutes to an hour every single day. If you can get 30 minutes of walking in, walk the dog, just, go for a walk with your spouse, go with your family, get out there and move, keep the body moving. So stay consistent with that is huge. Having unstructured workouts where you're just, it just needs to be 30 minutes at the pool or an hour at the pool. So you go and you just swim and you do different things. It's also a great time to look at, like, if you've got stuff set on the calendar already for next year, right? You go, okay, my A race is going to be in July, and I've got a B race in May, June, and then something else in the fall, and you're kind of looking at your year already. Now's a great time to sit back Work with your coach if you have a coach, or just if you're coaching yourself, just go through and go like, these are the goals I want to reach. What are the weaknesses? What are the things that what's the SWOT analysis, the strengths, weaknesses, type setup is like, what is it that I really need to get better at? Like for this particular race, I need to have a stronger swim. What does my swim look like? I need a little bit better form. So then you can go, okay, I'm going to take 4 weeks and I'm going to do less running,
Perfect.
less biking, and I'm just going to get in there and I'm going to work on some drills on the swim just to make that, to get the jump start on getting yourself ready for next year. If it's the run, then, you do more running, do more fun running, do some trail running. Have a couple athletes that we've got off on the trails and they're running and loving the trails right now because it's different.
Fun.
It's so awesome. A little muddy and slippery occasionally, but we've got them doing all sorts of stuff. And I love the trails. I'm always a big fan because it teaches you to pick your feet up. Like if anything else in the world, shuffling along on a pavement, like you want to face plant.
Yep. Well,
don't pick your feet up.
You don't
right?
care about pace. But another,
you just go have fun.
And the other thing I think you triggered the thought on was around like, I think I'm like every other triathlete. You have really, tight hip flexors, those kind of things. Off season is a great time to start working, like you said, working on those deficits. Like, hey, I need to open up my hip flexors more. I need to work on, some smaller muscle groups that are those supporting muscles that are critically important, but we don't really think about because we're always worrying about big muscles, right? What can I do in the off season? To your point, hey, I notice I start to get injury or fatigue when I ignore this. So how do I make it a habit again where I can get it back in there? It's a great time to be able to do that and be able to. The other thing, just to go back to the mental thing, I think also if you have a spouse or a loved one or a family that has done a very good job of making sure that you've been supported throughout, make sure you put some chips back in there and maybe do something they want to do, not something you want to do. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
If they want to go like, hey, let's go for a hike, or, I want to go to Portugal, like we'll go anyway. Just do those things where if that's something that really interests them or something they want to do, you took the driver's seat, and for your time. Now it's time to, I think, kind of get back and say, hey, what do you want to do? And let's do something fun. And that's why I think that's why part of the reason why I did HYROX with Lori is because I spent well over a decade, when you do Ironman training, it's 9-10 months of being selfish, right? So what do you want to do? Is this something that sounds fun to you? We can do it together. We've never done something together. Those are the kind of things you just got to get back once in a while. So you have balance. I guess balance is the kind of the thing I keep going back to. I think when, if it's this intense and training and that, you got to kind of reset, rebalance, and work on those things that, like you said, with the band work, or work on those deficits, or like you said, just work on swim drills that, I just notice my head goes up too much and I drop my body. Let's just work on head drills. Just nothing,
and you can use a combination of go into the gym and work on building the muscles that you need for that particular drill, and then you go into the pool and you do those particular drills, or run, or whatever it is, or bike. If you want to get stronger on the bike, then you lock in and go, okay, here's my program for the bike, and you just kind of lock and load on it. So it's a good time. Still want to keep consistency. Consistency is what keeps us healthy, what keeps us going. I think just in general, even if you don't have a goal, your life goal should be just to be consistent, to keep your health in a good spot. It helps settle hormones. It brings the cortisol levels down. It just gives you a better well-being overall. Get into some yoga, get into some
time.
breathing exercises. Now's a great time. It's cold outside. You want to put the football game on or something on and do some breathing exercises so you can relax and kind of bring all that stress down that you've been
try
gaining.
Pilates. Trust me, that'll
great ways.
That'll show exactly where you have a deficit. Go do a Pilates class. You'll go, oh wow, okay, those little stabilizer muscles, like
you start shaking violently.
Well, honestly, that comes back to the same thing as the swim drills. Like you can never, swim drills are great. Keeps the joints good, but nothing but benefit. How you swim better is you swim more.
Yeah.
Right.
And then for getting outside and doing things in the colder weather, I think the best quote, and I don't know who to attribute it to, but I'd seen it a couple times, as I said, there's never bad weather, it's just bad gear choices. So
Yeah.
There's lots of stuff out there you can still continue to ride outside on your bike. I mean, it gets cold, but there's all sorts of heated gloves and proper gear and that type of stuff. So at certain temperatures, you can still get out there and actually get a good ride in, or a good run in. Just, search out, there's, Amazon Prime Days or, holiday sales and things like that right now as you find some of that gear. Put that on your Christmas list to say, I want to keep running outside during the year as much as possible or on the bike. And just make sure you take care of yourself. Now, when there's some people that get super, super crazy, or so I should say, not crazy, but dedicated, when it's, minus 11 degrees and there's a wind chill of less than that, and they go out, I got to get my run in. I'm like, I'm going to say there's a point where it's too cold. And it's not helping your lungs, or it's not doing anything for your sinuses or your lungs or anything like that. So it's like, at that point, it's like, okay, ride indoors, run indoors, figure out those other options, but have them available. So it's not like that helps you just make the switch. Like, the weather's bad, I have my indoor option. The weather's good, I have my outdoor option. You're there. It's not like you show up and you go, I only have an outdoor option and the weather's terrible. Now I don't do anything. So,
yeah, and it's kind of fun. I mean, I remember, when you get done with a cold ride or you get done with a cold run, you get that hot shower and it just feels, it feels like you earned it, right? And it's kind of
burn more calories when you're shivering.
Yeah, I mean, we, Lori and I did Ragnar together, and it was like 19 degrees out at 2:00 in the morning, but man, that shower felt good when we got home. I mean, it was
definitely,
and it's fun. It felt like you earned it. That's what's kind of fun when you do a little bit of suffering. Then it feels like that. The rest of the day, you're like, okay, good. Yeah. I earned it.
I feel like I did something. I'm pushing myself this year to ride outdoors as much as possible.
Very cool.
And continue running outdoors as much as possible, which the running was always easier, but I've gotten all my runs in, and it's been, down in the 20s and 30s here. It's been a bit chilly where I usually don't want to go out, but I have all the gear, I have everything, and I'm still going out and getting my workouts outdoors. And then I'm doing my specific, kind of indoor stuff as well.
I think that's a great winter goal, right? Which is like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to let weather, to a point, like, let's be real, right? But to your, I'm not going to let weather, that's going to be my goal. I'm going to be outdoors at least once, this week.
Yeah.
Right.
And I get our pup Rosie out for a walk. We try to do 2 miles every day. So we try to do it every day. Last week, I think it was supposed to be bad weather around 6 p.m. So at 2:30, I grabbed her lead and I said, let's go for a walk. We're going to get our walk in.
Yeah.
And we stepped outside and it was sleeting, like downpour sleet. And I went, not happening.
Not happening. Plan B.
So we played indoors and she took a nap and that was it. But every other time we're out there, she gets so I always get a 2-mile walk in, I would say at least 5 days a week, if not 7, with her. And that's the extra excuse to get outside. So I get at least that, and then I go for a run afterwards.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, just that's the kind of small goal. It doesn't need this big, hairy thing. It's like, hey, I'm just going to try to get outside, do an outside activity at least once a week. That's a great, not a hard goal to hang your head on. Gives you something where you feel committed to doing something, you feel good afterwards, you feel like it's something accomplished. That's a great kind of, or like you said, I want to be able to lift 2 days a week because I know I need to start doing some strength training and work on areas where, like, my core, I absolutely could do a better job on better core.
I think we all can.
So that should be the focus. So, yeah.
We think we have a strong core, and then we
don't.
learn that we don't have a strong core
at
the wrong time.
There you
at
go.
the wrong
right,
time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So if anyone has any tips or tricks or things that they do to get themselves out the door in the cold weather, please let us know. We'll share those. We get some good ones. So yeah, let us know. We're always up for new tips and tricks. Make sure you keep the chapstick and keep your face and lips from, completely freezing off. But yeah, send us those notes, and keep up the comments, and the 5 stars, thumbs up, all that good stuff, sharing this around. So we appreciate everyone on that. So I think that's a good wrap up for this one, Kenny.
Yep.
But we'll do one more. We'll try to do a nice year end type of thing and
try to
pull
find
up some hot topics. Yeah, we'll do a little. we got to do the holiday party, right?
There you go. We'll do the ugly sweater.
Oh, there you go. We'll do something with that coming up shortly. But Thank you again, everyone. We appreciate you all. And Kenny, as always, this is a blast.
Yep.
And for everybody, we'll catch you on the next one.